Welcome into Blockchain Basement. Today we're talking about why everybody should sell all their crypto. Crypto's dead in the United States. It's going to zero. Yeah. No. All this and more in today's Blockchain Basement. Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there, but if we do, that's kind of where we
All right, welcome into Blockchain Basement. We have a really good show for you guys today. Running with a little bit of a lighter crew, but the bigger mind, or some of the best minds in the buildings. We have the one and only, the Nick Tater, Nick Diamandi, aka Crypto Sunglasses, aka Convenient Truth. He goes by many names, but he's got lots of knowledge. The one, the only, Decker Bobbin, helping us with all the finance, lots of different trades, lots of different stuff he does in this space. And we got a new guy on the sticks, Aaron Curry. Say hello.
What up?
Hey, don't worry, wait. He's about to get married. You can't. Don't jump that too fast.
I was gonna say.
He's another pickleballer here, videographer. You guys have probably seen him at a few meetups. He's been out and about, been into crypto for a couple of years. We're gonna have Drew out there working on the spectacles, making sure his vision is top notch going into this next market. So should be back soon. Shout out to all of the OGs. We got SAS Finance, Mana Walk, Casino Doggy, Cali Crypto Dude, Desert Crypto Week, Mr. Wrigley. I did see Just Thomas said his phone is about to die and he might die before we start this stream. So plug that sucker in, man. We got some good stuff for you guys today. Nick did steal my lunch today. Big power move. What are we having for lunch today, Nick? Oh, got him with the food in his mouth.
It's called Grandma's Rice.
Grandma's Rice. There you go. Everybody's trying to get lean for the summer. We've got, speaking of getting lean and mean, we've got the SEC coming after Coinbase now today, being the big attack vector. Yesterday, they filed suit against Binance and CZ. We talked about that. We're going to have a little bit more follow up on that. But then, and that was actually predicted on this show. We'll play the clip here in just a second. I don't know if Aaron's ready to play this clip or not, but we do have the clip. AJ yesterday, AJ Writes Crypto right here on Blockchain Basement, basically said, oftentimes when the SEC comes out with a big announcement like this, they like to follow it up, do a 1-2 punch. Let me know if you're ready for this.
Just bring up the laptop cap.
Hold on, give me 1 second because I... Boop, boop, boop.
Guys, go ahead and hit that like button to prove you are not a Fed.
Hell yeah. Good job. Let's see. We have how many people watch? We got 164 people watching, only 46 likes right now, so we can at least get that number up to 100.
Let's go.
Special bonus for everybody who gets that 420th like. I did see the comment on the last video who did
Dave
that.
Digital,
so.
Fat Boy Summer. I'm here for it.
Here we go. All right, it sounds like you guys can't hear the audio. No big deal. I retweeted. If you go back, AJ yesterday said, like I said, they usually have a 1-2 punch. They came out with Binance today. They're coming out with the Coinbase lawsuit. Not necessarily too surprising. They did serve Coinbase with a Wells notice not that long ago. But what I want to check on, and sorry for the no audio, guys. It's a different way to do it on the board there. I hope the audio is good now. You can hear me now, right, Aaron? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're like 10-second chat behind.
I know we got to fix that. There's a way to adjust that latency too, that I just learned about. So that announces today. But what I wanted to touch on, counter to the title. Hopefully you guys don't just read the title, watch the thumbnail, and take action based on that. Don't sell all your crypto, because what was interesting is What's that? Oh, you already sold it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait,
Bobby,
what,
Bobby,
TJ?
before he even, well, he's like, I haven't even watched the episode. I just sold everything. I was like, don't do that, Bobby. So coming in, we'll do a real quick check on the markets. We got the price coming in 26,500 right now, actually up a little bit on the initial news, bouncing off of that news yesterday. So really we were in the 25s. Let's see.
Yeah, we were for a while.
Yeah, here's yesterday's dump on the Binance news. Sideways. Initial announcement. This is first thing this morning was the Coinbase stuff. Rumors about. Oh, you guys can't see. Hold on. I don't like this new Coinbase when it's smaller version.
Well,
but
I asked BJ to put you in the bottom left corner
oh,
because the charts always go to the right.
yeah, that's a good point. So here's the Coinbase or the Binance SEC news drop. Sideways, here's the Coinbase. And again, if you guys remember when the bear market was happening before, this is very similar to where you get one announcement, it causes a big dump, and then a follow-up announcement, much less of a dump. And that's because sellers are mostly exhausted. It makes this 25 level look stronger and stronger and stronger the more we keep coming down and retesting it. So good. I think another good opportunity to buy. We know there's going to be some tightening on the liquidity. We're going to look at that a little bit later in the show, but with more treasuries getting created here in the next year or so, I think 24 is still shaping up to be a really good year. My investing thesis hasn't changed. You guys have heard me say time and time again, accumulate this year. Now is your accumulation time. Don't get too hung up on if it's 25, if it's 26, if it's 28, if it's 22. Really, if you're in the 20s, I think you're going to be very happy by the end of the next bull run here. Nick, I have a question for you. Since you weren't on here yesterday, we kind of went around and polled everybody. I'd be curious to get your answer. Bitcoin halving price. I'll see if I can find what it was in all the previous years. I basically asked everybody for the prediction of what they thought it was going to be in 2024. Give me 1 second. I'll pull up. I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but
It's okay. Just so everyone knows, the Bitcoin halving is when half of the Bitcoin in your wallet goes away.
yeah.
So
No.
that is the Bitcoin halving.
You want to tell them what it really is real quick while I pull this number up?
Yeah. So the Bitcoin halving is the emission rate. Nice. Of Bitcoin mining gets cut in half. So it started at, I think, 50 Bitcoin per block.
Mhm.
Now it's down to
6.25, right?
6.25, and it's going to go to 3.15.
Gosh,
3.125.
documenting Bitcoin.
3.125.
Documenting Bitcoin tweets a lot. I thought it was going to be really easy to pull this up.
No.
Where they had, I want to say it was like $8, $100.
Gosh, you guys are making me want to buy Bitcoin right now.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna
piling into
lie.
I
Bitcoin.
know.
So anyway, do you know? I mean, just do you have a guess on the top of your head? Basically, April-ish 2024. What range you think Bitcoin's going to be in?
I think we're going to be right here.
Yeah, right around 30-ish. Yeah, that
Right
was
around
the
30.
consensus. I mean, we had somebody picked a little over. I think Drew went the highest in the 40s.
Yeah.
But we when I polled on Instagram too, a lot of 28s, 29,
Yeah.
31, 25.
Crypto Savvy is going to be very, very sad because we are not going to the teens ever again. Never again.
It's a big statement.
Sorry,
Anytime
folks.
you say never with Bitcoin, that's a big statement.
Is that financial advice?
That is,
I'm joking.
well, everything I say is financial advice.
What
We already got
were
so
we going to
established.
say, Decker?
Well, I'm just curious. Is that based on previous movements after the halving?
You're talking about the prices?
Yeah,
predicted?
the guess. I guess the guess for April, because that feels like, again, this is not based on anything. When I hear that April 2024, I guess who knows what could happen. That feels a little low, but
It does, but it's because everybody thinks more happens before the halving actually happens.
Yeah.
So when you go look at the last price at the last halving, I think it was about $8,000. So it was right, and we've traded between 7 and 10.
I see.
Pretty
I
much
see.
through all of 2019, and it felt 8 feels good and it's much more exciting, but we didn't really break through that 10,000 until beyond the halving. There was that mid-year breakout into 14, and then it fell back between 7 and 10, and that's really what I'm equating this year, whether you call it 20 to 28 or 20 to 30 is really how I feel. And that 34 didn't seem like enough breakout to be that mid-year breakout, which is why I think some people were calling for 40, but really between 25 and 30 now feels like the new 7 and 10. So falling in at 28, right around the time of the halving, and then running all the way up in through 25 seems about right to me. It's consistent timeline levels, and now you have a little bit different when you consider how much has been money supplies changed in that time period, but if you don't, that's pretty small deviation. So
Dave Digital, calm down. Also, shout out prayer request for Decker's shoes.
Okay.
You can see his sock. Hold up your shoe,
no,
young man.
I don't want to talk about
Hold
it.
it up.
I forgot I was on basement. I try to give my
Hold
good
up
shoe
your
game.
shoe. Show the audience.
Was it really that bad?
Other
Is this
foot?
foot?
No. Now go back to the other camera.
Yeah. Okay.
There.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
Okay. I'm coming. That's a piece of gum, and I'm sorry that. No. Don't hate, guys. I am sorry.
Guys, look, it's a bear
They
market.
don't make
here.
they don't make these in this color anymore. I can't get a replacement.
Oh, for God's sake.
But okay, day one I came on here. I'll keep this short.
God's sake.
Justin Williams was like, dude, you're going on the show.
Take your Pepe profits and put them into shoes.
Yeah, Justin and Johnny were like, dude, you can't be showing up on the basement rocking that. And I'm sorry, guys. I disappoint
Bjorn
sometimes.
Boots.
Decker puts
He makes up for
all of his profits go into crypto.
Yeah,
he
I
wears
know, right?
he wears free merch from here and shoes from last year, and everything goes into DGen alt picks.
Yeah, these actually are, I think, 2 years old now that I think about it. So
yeah. I am getting tan. I've been out on it's summertime, guys. Got to get that
On the
summertime tan going. Boat time.
Summer
So, all right, real quick, we'll do some housekeeping, and then we'll get in a little more into the news. So we did,
Lick it for a bit.
we will tweet this out. We already have. If you guys don't follow Blockchain Basement on Twitter, make sure to check that out. We are sharing this new Discord. So you guys you're going to want to get in there. We haven't activated it today. We're going to promote it this week and then probably start going live with the show within that Discord later this week. To get you guys Decker's Shoe Fund. Thank you, Maddie
Look at
C,
that.
for the super chat
Thank
for
you,
Decker's
thank
Shoe
you.
Fund.
Yeah, Kirkland just came out with their own shoes. It says Kirkland on it.
Kirkland brand.
wow.
That's
for
kind of
Costco.
baller. It's kind of baller. Not gonna lie.
I can see Decker wearing those.
That's kind of like Champion. Champion used to be like, oh, it's Champion, but now people wear Champion sweatshirts. Anyway,
Yeah, it came back around. So get in here. Let's see. I'm gonna tweet this Discord link out. Hopefully it's a permanent one. We'll find out. And we're going to get this Discord going. There's going to be some fun stuff in the future. We're just building it out right now. I did see earlier in the show, somebody mentioned having a memes channel in there. We should add that very, very quickly here. So we're just getting the roles and all that stuff set up now. We're going to add more emojis, memes, get different people involved, like I said, in the show. That'll be coming later this week. But
DJ, how happy are you to have Discord back in your life?
I like Discord. If you guys don't know, I tried to move all of us as a company
Oh my God,
out over to Discord because I could see, okay, Discord's relevant in all these community buildings. We're going to need to know how to do it. We need to run them anyway. We should go ahead and just move our entire operating company communications, which at the time were in Slack, over to Discord. And that was, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to roll out new systems across people groups, but it's a challenge, especially when it's technology.
It's like a fart in church.
Yeah, exactly. There's about I'd say a third of the people that were doing it really enjoyed Discord. You know, the gamers, the Stevens and Tristan, you know, Decker, big Discord guy. Yeah. And then about 2/3 of people were just like, no, I hate Discord. I'm never moving
By the way, guys, I appreciate the donations.
Oh, man,
I got to shout it out. Appreciate it. I got $15 now. I can go to the store.
Guys, we will take this month's sign-ups for your memberships.
Yeah,
and,
get Decker some new
They're
shit.
all going to go to me, guys. No, I'm joking.
All right. Well, before the SEC was getting involved, this is pretty interesting. This is also something to keep an eye on, guys. If you want to look at Bitcoin interest when it comes to Google Trends, almost exactly mirrors price when you're looking at that. So if you're looking at a good time to accumulate, it's when nobody else is looking at things. It's when people have moved away. It's when people think it's dead. So Bitcoin interest hits rock bottom. Google Trends data shows the lowest score in 7 months. Global interest in Bitcoin searches drops over 73% in less than a year. And again, you have to remember, some of these people are searching while things are crashing. So this when I talk about the boring part of the cycle, that's literally what it is. There's no interest. Nobody's trading it. Nobody's talking about it. At least right now with the SEC, like something's happening. There's rules, there's laws being created. There's a discussion around blockchain. In 2019, it was like crickets. There was nothing happening. And I do expect us to enter that when it comes to liquidity. Like I stressed earlier in the week, for me, there's more conviction than ever because just the fact that all these laws and regulations are being discussed means this isn't going anywhere. This is only going to get bigger over time. Which means we're in the right place and time's on our side. 2019, it was harder to be that confident because there was like, there's still a chance this whole thing goes away, which I feel like that chance is extremely small right now. Anecdotal Smith says daily DCA with a $50 budget. What's best to accumulate through 2024 must be on Coinbase. I'll open it up to everybody on this, but if it were me, if I'm talking to my brother and he's asking a question like that, the advice I give him is Ethereum. Accumulate ETH, until 2024, and then watch out for other things to roll it into. What do you guys think?
I was gonna say, is ADA on Coinbase?
ADA.
I don't think you can buy it. I don't think you can buy it, but I think you can have it on there. So I guess I won't include ADA, but my
You could have it on the wallet, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, my initial my opinion is the same thing. If my brother was asking me that $50 a day, I'm a little more conservative, so I would say $30 into Bitcoin, $20 into ETH, or 25 each day. And I think you're starting off real well there.
What about Nick? What would you tell a family member has $50 a day to DCA?
Hang on. What is that? So 50 times 30. That's $1,500 a month.
That's a lot, by the way.
If you're going to be putting down $1,500 a month, you take 1 month of that money and buy a Bitcoin miner and start mining Bitcoin, because it's the only way to accumulate without KYC. Okay? Or
if that,
you can also do it with a Bitcoin ATM, but look, you're supporting the network. Buy a miner, run it in your house. Like, you can get the Ant Miner S19s, like, they're pretty cheap. You can buy a Bitcoin miner for $1,500 and it will mine a lot of Bitcoin for you. So
remember that guy? There was a guy that mined a block with like a thumb drive.
Yeah, you can do that. That's solo mining. I'm not talking about that.
That's very random. I mean, you got to be. That's kind of like playing the lottery. You got to get lucky to do that. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm torn on that. Most, especially right now at the bottom of the market. Like most research shows, you're going to get more Bitcoin for your money if you just take that same $1,500 and just spot buy Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for 1 month's worth of $50 a day DCA.
Okay, so you're saying you would say DCA
in addition,
only for 1 month you buy a Bitcoin miner. The rest of those months you start accumulating Cardano, Avalanche, and Polygon.
Ooh, that's a hot take. By the way, again, shout out. Thank you for the shoe fund money.
Shoe fund. Welcome to OG Status, Shane Hansen. All right, Drew, family member asks you $50 a day, DCA. What do you tell them?
I would tell them either if family member is probably new to crypto, I always like to start people off in Bitcoin or Ethereum. But if they have a really high risk tolerance and they're trying to shoot really high and they got really big goals, I'd probably be talking about XRP. Cardano is still there, and I mean, it was asleep before the last bull run and then really popped off and surprised people. It kind of looks like it's in the same situation. I was looking at Algorand for how deeply beat down it is. I mean, it's at like 13 cents or something. And then I can't stop bringing up DEGs.
Yeah, I know. Gary Gensler says Algorand is a great project.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it's endorsed directly from him.
Endorsed directly from the SEC.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah. Never consider mining. Recommend YouTubers for learning how you probably know. I mean, Mind Your Biz is a solid one.
He doesn't do any more content like that.
Really?
Really, not really much anymore. Red Panda Mining, Mining Chamber, and not Line. There's a bunch of them. Just DM me on Twitter. I'll get you set up, bro. Anyways, the whole
Nick
process,
Damani, right, on Twitter.
Yeah, add Nick Damani on Twitter. The whole process of setting up a miner gets you ingrained in what a blockchain is and how it works.
It is,
and that experience alone, it's not hard. It's really not hard. You just mine to a pool.
It's really not. It's not. And I would agree. Now, with that factor alone, the experience of doing it, setting it up, learning it, and understanding it's not as complicated as you think it might be. Like it's not. It's not, if you don't have any technical understanding, you have to have some technical understanding. But if you can set up your computer, if you can install an operating system, you can probably figure out how to do some of this stuff.
And that's true. I guess I wouldn't, for the people in this building, it probably wouldn't be difficult in the attic here. But I guess, and I don't know, I'm just thinking
Rabbit's great.
I just know, just kind of back to your same point. Like, I feel like if somebody is just, hey, I have $50 a day to DCA, getting into mining is more of a long play. Yeah. It's more of a long play, but it's an awesome long play. And honestly, I haven't been jealous of people who mine. It's just because it is that one step. It's kind of like, all right, I'm not going to buy a computer. I'm going to build it myself. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a different, it's different dynamic for different types of people. Like if you're if you enjoy hardware and if you're a technically inclined person, I highly recommend it. It was something, so when I first got into Bitcoin and Ethereum, it was Tim, Brian, and I all work here right now, built Ethereum rigs. I think we might have even sold you some of the rigging and the GPUs. Yeah, some of the old stuff. And when Ethereum, I think basically the entire last bull market, we were mining Ethereum all the way up to $1,100, $1,400 when it was peaking in 2018.
God,
kept mining. Right, yeah, mining at a loss. Mined it all the way down to years where we were mining it at $200, $150. even I think it even went. I mean, it stayed under 200 for months, where we were mining and mining and mining, and at that time also felt like you're mining at a loss because you were basically you're banking on the Ethereum going back up. And then you start to learn about spec mining. We learn, we mined some other chains. We mined Ravencoin. We mined Ethereum Classic. I mined something called Grim was something that was up and coming at the time. Wimble. It was being tested on Litecoin and some of that stuff for privacy. And then you get in early on some of these things and you can sell them off. But what you do, the biggest value you get from it, like monetarily, yes, I made way more from just my DCAing into Ethereum at that same price. If I was just buying Ethereum at $100, I profited way more, to where like whatever we made on the mining stuff at that point was just like, all right, yeah, we have, it was like 10 ETH or something, and it was all right, cool, it's all profit. But it paled in comparison monetarily, but the experience I would say is valuable.
I want to say something here because it sparked something in my head. Robert Young said it's important to know what exchange you use, what their fee structure is. It may change how much you should DCA to minimize fees.
Good point.
I started this on Gemini, and I'm like, I'm gonna do $10 a day, right? They take $1 for their fee structure from $0 to $10, the $0 to $10 range purchase, regardless if it's a DCA purchase or not. They take a $1 fee.
Yeah, that's
So-
crazy.
That cuts into it big time.
That's a 10. I have to gain 10% now on my DCA indefinitely to break even. So you got to be really careful. And I'm sure Coinbase is the same way because they like money too. So you got to be careful. I just recommend KuCoin. I know you said Coinbase route, KuCoin, no KYC, and it's and the fee structure is really low. It's really it's respectable in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a great point. You need to look into whether you're doing if you're doing bi-week, every other week or monthly or something like that, it's not nearly as big of a deal if you're taking a little bit out of each check. But if you're doing it daily, if you want the best specifically for Bitcoin, Swan Bitcoin is the best, simplest self custody. They promote you withdrawing. It's the lowest fees. It'll be the easiest one to set up if you want convenience and low fees. Otherwise, like you said, KuCoin's there's a lot of good ones
too.
out
That's
there.
the benefit of KuCoin is if you
I
want
use
those
Kraken
alts.
a lot.
Kraken, yeah. I know, like
Plus one in the chat if you want to see a mining show.
I was using Uphold and
new mining segment on here.
Mining
even.
I
segment
had
on
like a
here.
small bag of Uphold on Uphold of Pepe, and for some reason, like every 2 weeks, I see a $4 transaction from Pepe back to Matic, which I didn't initiate, and I'm trying to work with their customer service, but I was using Uphold for DAG, and then I was put on a hold for like 65 days of withdrawals after I did a test transaction of like, $1 worth of DAG to my Stargazer wallet. So, I used to do my DCA on Uphold, but I'm just keeping it simple on Coinbase right now. But really, I don't really have to worry about fees because I guess I call DCA, but it's really just I'm throwing everything I got when I feel like there's enough blood. So
Yeah, that's what I call DCA too. I just stack money up. Oh, now we're all blurry.
chaos.
I just stack money up until it's like you said, you see blood in the streets, like, all right, pile in now. So I was buying some last week when it was losing. I think it was in the 20 low. It was around 20. It was like 26-ish. Yesterday, on that dip, scooped a little bit more, hoping to continue to stack all throughout the rest of this year. Well, let's get to some of the actual news at hand here. We've got, I was covering this Bitcoin interest all-time low. Basically, keep an eye on Google Trends. You can see if you punch in here, like this is the 2018 bull market right here, and this is all index, so this is over time, so this scales. So this is the interest that was going on in 2017, 2018. This was when it was at an all-time high. Boom, here we go. Both other times it was at an all-time high. Here was a little interest as it was crashing, and we are right now entering, and this is the bottom right here in November, and it's pretty interesting that you lose interest searches. Oh, boom, a little action's happening here because we're hitting an all-time low, and then fading into nothing, and then just expect this right here that we're going into to look a lot like this right here.
Can't wait.
And it's just brutal. Yeah, it's brutal. This is volume. This is interest. This is just nothing going on within the market, especially for us that are, that talk about the news and stuff. It's pulling teeth sometimes to find narrative. So yeah, maybe some good mining guides and some how-tos and some product reviews.
The difficulty is going to plateau, and it's actually going to be great because you don't want to get into
Well,
difficulty pump.
This accumulation of this boring range is where I'm trying to lean into like the conviction side of people and like, the inflation for their fiat currency and really kind of quantify, why they're here to begin with, just to recodify that. Because it's going to be like a year of wondering who you are, why you're here. It's going to last. So.
Yep. This is Arthur Hayes, another good one to keep an eye on. Former founder of BitMEX, early crypto enthusiast leader. I think got painted as a bad guy a lot of times. I don't know if you guys know the history of BitMEX. That's a story for another day. But very interesting. Knows the markets very well. And I tend to agree with a lot of his outlook most of the time. The market is down on some Binance FUD, but regardless of the catalyst, risk markets are on edge because of the TGA refill. By the end of summer, the market will move past that and on to large amount of money printing humming along in the background. I have a few S coins to buy in the meantime. So he's looking at this and he's same thing, basically on the same mode of accumulation mode, unfazed, knowing money printing is coming back. I thought this was an interesting observation as well. I didn't think about this until after he said the entirety of last week, and especially a lot of the chart guys, the technical guys, is something Frank was talking about. The entirety of last week, crypto was weak while traditional markets were strong. Basically stocks, a lot of things were pumping, doing really well. Looked like somebody was relentlessly selling into any green candle we got for Bitcoin. Today, Binance gets attacked by the SEC. He's saying, I wonder if somebody had, knew this was coming or was preparing for some of this stuff. Interesting. Who knows? But I could be relevant. So, all right, Coinbase stock tanks 16% following SEC lawsuit. This is the story of the day. And again, I'll re-emphasize this. The title in the thumbnail says, crypto's dying, it's going to zero. Sell all your crypto. That's the sentiment everybody's feeling right now. That's the retail sentiment. That is not my recommendation. When retail feels that way, this is your time to accumulate. When the pressure's on things like this, like I said, blockchain industry, regardless of where the United States falls on its regulation of it, crypto and blockchain isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it will only grow from this point forward. The United States has the opportunity to accelerate that growth tremendously by, making this part of their economy and an initiative they want to grow and continue, or they could slow it down and try to fight it. Either one could happen, but either way, it's going to be here and it's going to stay. I believe it would win that fight even against the United States, because the United States really isn't as capable at fighting a alternative economy as they once were.
Right.
So for me, this is the best opportunity to be accumulating. Coupon for crypto for the shoes. Much love. Thanks for the super chat.
Fantastic.
I think this has to be a thing. Like, we have to go with Decker to a shoe store.
Yeah.
We need at least,
at this point, we'll go to Marshalls right now.
Short on TJ Maxx of some shoes for Decker.
Isn't there a crypto shoemaking? Like, they make.
There probably is. Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Hey guys, comment on this video. Don't chat. Comment on this video where Decker should get his shoes from.
Yes, give us links to the best place.
Affiliate links, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so Coinbase stock tanks 16% on SEC lawsuit. Let me ask you guys this: how? And we probably discussed this before. Any interest in Coinbase stock?
Yeah, I feel.
What?
I do. I feel like Coinbase is going to rebound. I feel like Coinbase is going to rebound.
He's high from the eye doctor.
I don't hate it.
It's going to rebound. It's not going anywhere. They're just trying. I feel like both is happening. They're trying to arbitrage it to hold on to their traditional finance systems. And then we have some good people within our government that are going to continue to fight for Coinbase's ability to operate here. And this thing's going to rebound just fine. Like, I would potentially, if I messed with stocks, which I don't, but if I did, I would move into coin. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm similar. I don't really play much with stocks either. This is one, I don't know, I'm torn on, because it's like, if I'm going to diversify outside of crypto, why would I go into crypto stocks? It's an industry you understand. But look, I mean, you can clearly see the correlation here. So here's where they launched insanely high, or no, this is just year to date. So it's not showing their insanely high launch.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I think it launched at 300, crashed to 60 or something like that.
It's very brutal.
Which obviously you don't want to be buying into the sale, but it is interesting to see. Basically, it is correlated more or less with Bitcoin, just two extremes, right? It's when Bitcoin's going up, it's going up faster. When Bitcoin's going down, it's going down faster. Like what it's experiencing right here.
Like, that is not as boring as traditional stocks.
No.
Like, that looks like a fun graph. I don't know.
I think it's just kind of an opportunity cost thing, though, that, like TJ was saying, like, if I put money in coin, then that means I'm not putting money in Bitcoin, ADA, Ethereum, real estate, self-development, that type of thing. Although I mean, it's not a bad, I mean, if you're looking, I think that's the big thing. If you're looking to get into some stocks and diversify, then Coinbase might be one to consider. But then again, are you really diversifying if you're just buying Coinbase stock that trades along with
That's what I was saying.
your
Yeah, it's
crypto?
not really that much of a diversified investment.
Yeah.
So the crash comes one day after Coinbase shares posted a 9% drop on Monday during the regulatory trading session following news that rival exchange Binance had been sued from the SEC. Basically, this is kind of their claim. Since at least 2019, through the Coinbase platform, Coinbase has operated as an unregistered broker, including by soliciting potential investors, handling customer funds and assets, charging transaction-based fees. Unregistered exchange, court documents released Tuesday. So they're basically claiming they've been operating as an unregistered broker. I'm going to be fascinated to follow both of these two cases. They both have their own wrinkles to them. I think, and I'm done with this story here, Aaron, but I think Coinbase is in a very good position to battle this in court. I think they're way more equipped, have way better understanding, have been preparing for this case for years, and have been getting ready for this battle since before Gary Gensler was even in office. So I highly doubt they'll be able to beat Coinbase. Binance is a little bit more interesting. You know, Binance is a little less politically aligned here in the United States.
I feel like a wild card.
It is. It is a wild card where I feel like they're going to have their ducks in a row. They're going to have a good legal team. They may not be as squeaky clean as Coinbase is.
I think that's the
Do you think
thing.
do you think they knew about this and that's why they pulled out of the Voyager deal?
Binance you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think that was part of something that, because Binance is also involved in a lawsuit with the DOJ, and I think having less exposure to U.S. regulatory enforcement is a good strategy for Binance. So I think at this point they probably almost wish they didn't even go after the U.S. market because it's not worth the headache for them. I don't know. That's just my question, but. Can you tell us the difference between the action against Coinbase today and the Wells notice a few months ago? Very minor. Wells notice was basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a notice. It's basically a letter saying we're probably bringing some action against you in the near future. So they got that letter a few months ago, and then today this lawsuit is that action. So they're connected. Basically, it's saying like most likely we're bringing a suit against you. Get your ducks in a row, get your paperwork up to date because we're going to be requesting a lot of documents from you very soon, and then the lawsuit is the actual litigation.
I think it's a big old conspiracy. I think the SEC knows they're going to lose.
Drew, that's so unlike you.
I know. I think that they know that they're going to lose.
Yeah, I noticed it too.
They are just doing just like what Jay Clayton did. We were talking about this morning, and I saw Ben bring it up on the live stream. Jay Clayton left the SEC with this XRP lawsuit, knowing there was no chance. And we see SEC just throwing a bunch of lawsuits all against the wall, seeing what sticks, just so they can keep the poor, me and you and everyone that's trying to make a come up and we're not accredited investors out of this asset class because they're keeping us down. That's what I feel like.
That's exactly true. I mean, Crit Cat says it perfectly in the super chat. He says, I think it's so ironic that the SEC is suing Coinbase when the U.S. government has a Coinbase account to dump their BTC. Also for the shoe fund, of course. Thanks for the super chat. But no, it's a great point. The U.S. government uses Coinbase. They use a lot of their services, actually. They use a lot of their Chainalysis stuff that they do. They use them for custody. Like they mentioned of the Bitcoin that they hold. And they were actually, we covered it on this show, that they were in line to be the government approved broker dealer exchanger. So I don't even think the SEC is trying to prohibit any of that from happening. They just want to get back penance. And really, to Drew's point, this is all just a power play to say this comes under our rule of authority. These are all securities, which again, that's a whole other issue that they're going to get into. And that's where I think they're going to just get eaten alive by the Coinbase and Binance attorneys on arguing securities law, even though that's what their job is. They're just way out of their depth on technical understanding. I had a interesting, where is it here? We're jumping around a little bit, but it was somebody brought it up pretty good on Twitter. Yeah, here it is. He says the SEC's facts on Atom are pretty poorly researched. The SEC claims that Atoms were sold in 2017, but no one received an Atom until April 2019 when the network voted to enable transfers. The claim New Tendermint is significant contributor to Cosmos. They claim New Tendermint is a significant contributor to Cosmos. No contribution occurred. They claim work on the Cosmos software increases the demand for Atom, which most people would doubt. And the Cosmos software has numerous use cases outside of the Atom asset.
Yeah.
And so this guy, this is really the crux of the argument here, was what he says here. So he says, small nitpicks, selling something doesn't mean you immediately receive the thing you sold to you, unless there's a different legal definition I'm not aware of. Same as if you pre-order a phone or buy a car before the physical car title processed and sent it to him. And then this guy says, yes, but what they would have to do is actually say ICF sold a promise of future atoms, and then they would have to get into the extremely convoluted process by which atoms were delivered, which would have undermined their arguments that some atoms were secured. Like, if you have to explain the entire process of how it gets minted, how it gets voted on, how it gets distributed, how all this governance happens within some of these complicated systems, it's going to just fall apart so fast. You know, they listed, and we covered it yesterday, a handful. Really, they're just after BNB. That's the main one they're focused on, and BUSD, which is interesting. I'm sure you've been talking to Johnny about that TrueFi stuff.
Yeah, definitely. TrueFi is an interesting one.
It is interesting.
That might be a big sleeper. I mean, I know it got caught up in some FTX issues, but it's down like 99%, something like that. And
is this financial advice?
No, this is definitely not financial advice.
Yeah, but TrueFi is definitely
that's my job.
One that I'm watching, and
it has some interesting connections to Binance, BUSD. You know, it's another type of stablecoin potential. So, but bottom line, here's. I'm going to read Brian Armstrong's response to the SEC. Everything I've seen from them and their attorneys, they don't seem worried. They seem like they're the ones in the power position and control of a lot of this stuff, that realistically, if this lawsuit wasn't going on with the SEC, the United States government would be leaning on Coinbase to help with a lot of this regulation. So it seems like a last ditch effort for Gary Gensler, who knows he's kind of running out of time, running out of, I mean, he's still got a lot of influence within on the Hill, so to speak, in Washington, but his support is waning very quickly. He's really burned a lot of bridges, and really, you don't see anybody on his side, especially after that last hearing. So,
well, I have a theory on how it could get worse for Gary Gensler.
Let's hear it.
I think that the $500 billion that banks have in unrealized securities losses right now has a potential to continue to hurt and cascade into collapsing and making regional and smaller banks insolvent, thus further pushing more banks' assets into JP Morgan's hands and into Citadel's hands and Bank of America. And this is going to be noticed by Congress, how there was no oversight done on what these banks were investing into as far as the securities realm, and how Gary Gensler, head of the SEC, oversaw this and did nothing about our entire banking system being ass up, completely overexposed to securities that have us $500 billion in the hole right now. Yep, that's a thing. That's a thing. $500 billion.
It's a mess. It's. I mean, we looked at a lot of our economic situation yesterday. It's not looking any better. They look like they kicked the can down the road for the next 2 years. So here's my recommendation. I'll say it again. Use this as an opportunity. This is pure FUD. Positions are happening right now. This was another, where did it go? This was a very interesting thing that kind of slid under the radar. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
While everyone is caught up in Binance SEC case, institutions entered the chat. Without anybody noticing, the CFTC approved CBO Clear Digital LLC to clear marginal digital asset futures. So these are big money players in the traditional system. He said, I worked with the OCC back in the days to get marginal model approved. The CFTC was waiting to see how the CME contracts end up functioning. Obviously, they're working out well, so it looks like approvals are back on the table. So this is very interesting, something that you see happening behind the scenes, not getting a lot of media. You know, and then, like I said, there's a lot of misdirection going on most of the time when they're yelling and screaming about this. That's really nothing going on over here, which, you know, we're going to get into Brian Armstrong's response. Nothing's going to change. They're going to continue operating as usual, and they feel very legally sound that they're within their right to do so. But they're making all, you know, on the other side, while there's all this chaos going on, they're just slipping in their preferred digital asset dealers and brokers that they're going to set up for the next, you know, really the next, you know, generation, I would say.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. So here's Brian Armstrong's response. I thought it was pretty good. He said, regarding the SEC complaint against us today, we're proud to represent the industry in court to finally get some clarity around the crypto rules. So like I said, they're ready for this. And I think this is going to be just as prominent as the XRP case. I mean, these two cases, really the Coinbase case and the Binance case, I hope they don't drag on too long. They could be years, but I hope, we get a lot of progress on them within 2024. If we can get this wrapped up in 2024, I think it sets the stage very, very well. But remember, the SEC reviewed our business and allowed us to become a public company in 2021. There is no path to quote unquote come in and register. That's what Gary Gensler keeps talking about. He said, we tried repeatedly, so we don't list securities. We reject the vast majority of assets we review. The SEC and CFTC have made conflicting statements and don't even agree on what is a security and what is a commodity. This is why the U.S. Congress is introducing new legislation to fix the situation, and the rest of the world is moving to put clear rules in place to support this technology. Instead of publishing clear rule book, the SEC has taken a regulation by enforcement approach that is harming America. So if we need to avail ourselves of courts to get clarity, so be it. By the way, in case it's not obvious, the Coinbase suit is very different from others out there. The complaint filed against us is exclusively forced on what is or is not a security, and we are confident in our facts and the law. We will get the job done. In the meantime, let's all keep moving forward and building as an industry. America will get this right in the end.
Boom.
Now, reading that, I have there's another theory here that that all of what's going on with Coinbase right now is complete show. They know they're going to win this case. They know they're going to get the regulatory clarity they need. It's already prepackaged to where we're going to go through this case. We're going to say, this is what's security, this is what isn't. You're going to have the clear runway after that to pursue all of your business interests going forward. And the case with Binance to take a very different approach, because they're not just reviewing assets. This is not just against Binance, it's against CZ, and it's alleging fraud and defrauding US investors. So this might become hey, we've got the gorilla in the room, Binance, doing 80% of all crypto volume in existence. Coinbase, the US exchange, the number one potential competitor to it, which you might even say they don't even hardly consider you a competitor because this one's so much bigger. Hey, we can use our laws and regulation to catapult the US one and crush the foreign one.
We would never do that.
That would be so big brain.
We don't do that
I
here.
hate to say,
We don't use our legal system to arbitrage.
And if you look at the way Goldman Sachs and USDC is connected to Coinbase, is connected to the point that the chatter was making earlier, who custodies the US's Bitcoin? Like, Coinbase is US government interest in blockchain and Bitcoin realistically, or could be. I mean, in theory. Like, if you consider, if you look at Facebook and their involvement with the United States government, Coinbase has the potential to be very similar. They're going to lean on them. Like I said, they already do for chain analysis, for all sorts of different things. They're already leaning on them for what could be the new digital dollar. So that I think could be what's going on right here. Is they're just like they were trying to do with FTX. They were promoting FTX. They were going to push them to the top and attack Binance every chance they get. They're going to show of force that they're very equally treating them the same when one has a clear path to victory and regulatory clarity for the industry, and the other may get pushed out of the United States forever.
Well, something just came to mind too. Remember, we saw the XRP. Obviously, Ripple's been in this long SEC battle. Then we see the Fed now working with Ripple the whole time, never pulled out of it, nothing. And you will see the same thing with the Treasury and their holdings of the USDC. They will do nothing. They will let this go into no man's land. And everyone that's following mainstream media and that's staying away just in case, playing it safe, is going to get left in the dust because they're going to be too scared to move into the market while this thing is being attacked by regulators that have no foot to stand on. It's the same thing I feel like with XRPs.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. It's somebody said, "Oh, good thing I don't do crypto since it's dead." LOL. Chemistry Bro said Binance just has so much money to play with for the case. It's true. I mean, they have a lot to fight this, so it's at the very least they'll be able to drag a lot of it on, but it'll be really interesting. Crypto is dead now. SEC won. They can go back to sleep and let us keep doing our DCA. Yeah, that's good. So couple things to note, though, on this and kind of our defense to because I hate that we spend so much time talking about politics, regulations. I mean, obviously they matter. We exist within a rule that has governance, for people and civilizations and laws that you have to work within. But this is, to me, what's a lot more interesting about the direction that we're heading. Most interesting chart in crypto right now is the ratio between DEX and SEX, decentralized
DEX.
exchange and centralized exchange usage. As you can see, DEXs are eating SEX's market share. More regulations means more DEXs are exploding. The future is decentralized. And so here you go. This is DEX to SEX spot volume trading.
No such thing as safe sex.
Yeah, exactly. On the rise. I mean, still only 20-25%, but absolutely exploding. If you look at, this is just 2020. I don't know if I can, let's see if I can make this fit better. Yeah. So obviously Uniswap coming out, and this probably wins a lot of these, when they solved liquidity pools, that was a great breakthrough in decentralized exchanges, and all of a sudden they had liquidity, then they started getting uses. Now we have some competition. Here is probably, in 2022 is when we experienced a lot of people moving away from centralized exchanges. I've been talking about it for basically this entire year, that I'm a big believer in perpetual DEXs, self-custody perpetual DEXs, so people can trade futures and open interest contracts on self-custody DEXs like Apex Exchange, which is I know Velas. A lot of you guys have used a lot of these other ones. I think that's going to continue, and that's what I was saying earlier in the show. Like, yes, we have to operate within the law, the rule of law that we live in. However, the world, the ethos, the thing that brought us here to begin with is permissionless. That's the whole point. We shouldn't have to get permission from the people that have all the money already to say, like, yes, you can create this thing that's valuable to other people. We should just be able to create it, and people should be able to join. And if they don't want to join, they can leave. If they don't want to use the network, they don't have to use the network. But we shouldn't have to ask and get permission and create a license before somebody can create something of value and put it out there for anybody to use. That's the whole point.
Are you like a drug dealer or something, TJ?
No, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm just for freedom.
No, that sounds like revolutionary language, and you must be silenced.
Yeah. Freedom didn't come by us asking for it.
Exactly.
You didn't ask to be free of a tyrannical rule in the U.S. from
South
Britain.
Park says freedom isn't free; it's got a hefty effing fee.
It does. It's usually paid in blood. And you guys don't remember because it's not your blood, but a lot of people paid a big price for us to have the freedom that we have right now. And unfortunately, a lot of times that gets sacrificed for convenience or for comfort most of the time, for reassurance, being patted on the back and being told everything's going to be okay. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do anything yourself. We've got you covered. Famous lines from the government: "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." That's not good.
The government says we're here to help you. You need to go the other way.
Yeah, we spend one day remembering our war dead and then 1 month celebrating whatever we're celebrating right now. So there's your priorities.
Yeah, this was interesting. Eric Voorhees, one of my favorite in the space, big champion of this, and I did appreciate he shared this. He said, "There's something beautiful in the same day the SEC sues Binance regarding BNB, Thorchain adds BNB support. Anyone,
I read ahead.
Anyone can now buy, sell BNB without a trusted intermediary. No KYC, no territory restrictions. Americans are welcome. Cypherpunk's right code." I just thought that was awesome. And he's another one that's always championed this ethos of, look, we have to be realistic about the world that we're in. You can't just say, F everybody, we're going to burn everything down and, move fast and break things. That's part of it. Not asking for permission before you create is going to be disruptive. But you still also have to live within reality and understand, we can't all break everything and expect nothing bad to happen. And we have to be mindful and empathetic towards other people, that when things break, other people are going to feel pain. And we need to acknowledge that and not just say, well, F them, they're stupid. They're real people too. Even if they don't understand what's going on, they're still caught up within this system. They're still being taken advantage of. They're still being robbed blind. Realistically, they're still plugged into the matrix. And
and that's where they are being hurt.
Yeah,
that's where they are being hurt, is their buying power. I see people counting their money at any store that I'm at right now. They're talking to their spouse, do we have enough money for this? This is where the pain is. The pain is here. So I feel like that's where I begin, is by just reminding them, hey, you remember that this used to cost half as much as it does now 2 years ago. and you have the same job and pay grade right now, things have changed in a really fast manner, and you need to start paying attention now before it's too late and you are left out, unable to provide a home or, get your kids into a home. It's happening at breakneck speed, and I think that there is some financial pain. Hopefully it doesn't turn into physical pain across the board, but civil unrest is coming, and it's here in small.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
I do have to say, Fluffy the sheep, bruh. He's Team Brit, man. Come on, don't. He said it wasn't tyrannical. You guys just cheap and didn't want to give us taxation without representation, bro. Read Thomas Paine's Common Sense. Okay,
Yeah. So,
but we love you. But come on, man. Come on. Yeah, they went too far with the tea, to be honest, bro. Tea in a harbor, we couldn't even vote.
I don't like tea anyway, so
it was
I'm
a
always
3% tax, and we overthrew the government, and now I'd say a quarter of our population are now continuing to get a COVID boost. So we've got a long way before we're going to overthrow the shackles. What's his face? Bob from accounting says the tree of liberty needs to be watered. That's very dark.
True though.
I love it. Yeah.
But anyway, well, what's this? There's also been hearing talks about MetaMask. It's like, don't use MetaMask. Somebody else said MetaMask is a scam.
Tax reporting. Tax
reporting.
MetaMask is compromised. It's run by Consensus, which is run by Joseph Lubin, who is part of the World Economic Forum. So he's a cuck for Klaus Schwab. Ethereum get fucked. There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of that actually, if you go look at the OFAC stuff, has changed a lot since they very first rolled out. I mean, it is true what you're saying. They are tied to Consensus. Consensus, tied to a lot of things. You could also say Coinbase.
Your Lubin's been at every single Davos for the past 3 years.
Same with the dude from Uphold. That's another reason why I felt uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. A lot of prominent people within the blockchain space have all been there.
I know. Are they there to try to speak for the people though, or are they there?
They're there because they're there for their own reasons.
Yeah,
just like everybody else that's there.
Everybody
that's there is there to advance what they think.
TJ, we can join.
Yeah, I know.
It's only 10K and we can go.
I emailed them and they never emailed me back.
Shocker.
So
shocking.
All right. So I was going to say something before I get to this. You were talking about, we were talking about, taxation and all that kind of stuff. We did cover yesterday when we were talking about the US hyperinflation versus, I tend to, I think it was AJ that was bringing this up, which I tend to agree. Nick, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. We were weighing, the two main parameters countries have when they get to this point of, a broken balance sheet, more or less, is print, or raise taxes. I feel like we're pretty much pushed. I see us being more like a, in England or, I don't know if it was Britain, I guess, that overtaxing our people to the sense of revolution before we print ourselves, where we've got $200,000 to buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, or or you think we could risk hyperinflation?
No. We're not at risk for hyperinflation at all. Hyperinflation, the technical definition is 2 consecutive months of inflation over 50%.
Yeah, right.
So we are never ever going to get to that spot because we have the world reserve currency, and we are going to continue to have the world reserve currency for the next 100, 200 years. You know why? Because China holds most of our debt, and they do not want that debt going to zero. So
see, I don't know.
100 to 200. That's a long time.
I see 15.
Good point.
Max.
I see your
now,
point.
I have a harder time.
Max.
Yeah, I have a harder time seeing 2. Some people say 2 to 5. But I don't see it unless. I could see it if we get into if it's a digital dollar, USDC, that sort of thing. I could see it maintaining for potentially maybe another 50 years. But it's just become I think too many people are they're looking for a way out at this point. And there is a way.
That's true.
There is a way now to provide a reserve currency that is more neutral. And I don't think it's going back to gold. I think people will settle on moving towards Bitcoin, but we'll see. But I don't see U.S. dollar staying dominant for 100 years. It could.
I think I'm in between on that, between the 15 and 100 years. My guess is 30 to 50. Kind of the turning of the last turning. When is that coming?
The fourth turning is
turning.
The end of this turning is 2030.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's what gets me. If you look back throughout history, we're looking at thousands of years.
Yep.
100. I think it's like 112, 100. Little over 100 years is about the range that something holds that reserve currency status. Yep. We're right at it, a little bit over it. So we're kind of again, if you're looking at history within the timeline, So that's what leads me to believe sometime within the next 10 or 15. Welcome to OG Status,
Ayo.
S70.
By the way, TJ, you really got to read Alex Gladstein's book about the World Bank and IMF. I just finished it.
It's good.
It's really good.
I wonder if it's on audio.
We need to make it a BitBoy special. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's got a good. It's interesting the perspective he has in that role. I mean, he's I think he's strategy at Human Rights Foundation. So obviously he sees some of the worst of the way people are getting treated all around the world. And there's not clear solutions to a lot of these problems. No. You know, like, I mean, some of them are like, yes, that's horrible, that should be stopped, but how and why and what, you know, these are not easy problems to solve. It is very interesting to me how much he is drawn to Bitcoin for how many human rights problems it solves around the world. I mean, we know from a property perspective, it's huge. So he has a very interesting perspective, and it's much more, in my opinion, macro, long term. If you're thinking 100, 200 years, he can see where making these tweaks to the way a currency operates or having a sound money supply, really, especially a global one that's open access, can just revolutionize things on a human level. On
the time frame thing, there are some variables that have come up in the last 100 years that the United States has presented to the rest of the world, being 2 nuclear bombs that were used and a Navy that basically has control of the entire waterway and transit of logistics. So I just will say that there is a variable that's playing into this situation we're in now, and we're talking about new technology and crypto and how they might tokenize banking or create some more elbow room for just printing money all they want. But our historical reminders of how long societies or world superpowers have lasted in the past might be a lot different for the next 100 years, thus potentially giving us another 100 years, 200 years. I just had to bring it up.
Yeah, no, I love it. Always got to bring the potential atom bomb variable.
Well, I mean, it happened twice before, so it's like
that. It's like that card. Hey, you can always
he's
play
the bunker
this
guy.
Yeah,
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's right. Hey, Drew's going to be in the bunker. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So this. And again, this is always what's interesting to me. The lesser news. This was a good find by Nick. This is very prominent, especially when we're talking about transfers, global reserve currency. So this is breaking. Also happened today. TetherUSDT makes history by replacing SWIFT for US dollar transfers in prominent banks, signaling the commencement of blockchain revolution. So they're using Tether over SWIFT to settle not actual US dollar transaction. Let's see what bank they're talking about here. So
sanctioning that.
Zappo Bank.
Well, SackNasty86, one of my favorite usernames. Welcome to OG Status. So it says here, leading the way in a digital banking transformation, Gibraltar's Zappo Bank has become the pioneering financial institution to replace the traditional SWIFT system with US dollar Tether USDT for transferring US dollars between accounts. The groundbreaking integration satisfying the requirements set by Markets in Crypto Assets MiCA regulation. Have you heard of that?
Yep, that's the European.
I was like European, right?
Stuff, yep.
Interesting.
That's a bullish right there.
Christine Lagarde put that together.
Interesting. So they've approved this. Illustrates a significant shift in financial operations. Zappo Bank's move to Tether and the popular stablecoin represents a paradigm shift within the financial sector. The banking entity has emerged as the first regulated institution to transfer from the SWIFT system to quote unquote stablecoin rails. The switch marks a move toward quicker, more transparent, and resource-efficient operations. One thing to note that's interesting about this is the thing that they're most focused on in Washington right now, from a regulatory standpoint, is stablecoin regulation.
100%.
That they want to get that nailed down and clear, so that way so they can start doing stuff like this, which does open up to get more demand for the US dollar, which was kind of what Nick was talking about earlier. The Tether integration has led to an all-time high in its market cap, with the circulating supply now exceeding 83.6 billion across several blockchain platforms. This means that Zappo Bank users can now leverage the stablecoin infrastructure to earn yield on their holdings. So basically, we've got a large clearinghouse, so to speak, in Europe getting approved for stablecoins. Also, while we had a clearinghouse today, yesterday, getting licensed or approved by the CFTC to start doing some digital asset trading. So 2 big things in Europe and the United States getting approved very much under the radar, while you've got these giant splashy SEC cases going against it. So this is just very interesting. we've seen stablecoin wars going on very dramatically between USDT and USDC. We saw early in the year USDC was making up ground market cap wise very quickly on USDT, and then all of a sudden it just almost reversed when after FTX collapsed, and really it was a lot of the stuff going on with Maker when they started to realize how much censoring was and blacklisting was happening through Circle and USDC. Everybody started going back to Tether.
There's also a shitload of USDC at SVB. That's where they had
Silicon Valley Bank. Yeah, that's true. They had, I think it was about 10% of their entire supply. And I want to say it was like $3 billion or something like that, which is why it depegged all the way down to about 90 cents. You're right. So that
was a night.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
That was a night.
Ever since that day, my brain's like, oh, USDT. Yeah, before it was like USDC is the king. It's safest because it's Coinbase and Circle.
Well,
but now it's the opposite.
It really is. I still think and always do maintain that USDC will become the US digital dollar.
Okay.
So that felt very safe. And to be fair, they recovered their funds. Nothing really happened, but it does show the fragility, I think, of the traditional banking system, of using banks to custody your funds. I mean, it really makes you realize, like, oh, I'm self-custodying my USDC. Well, are you? When it's all supposed to be backed up 1-to-1 in some vault in some bank somewhere where we know it's really not.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing a video on a full-on banking collapse here.
There you go.
In about 20 minutes.
I love it. A lot of comments in yesterday's video saying they were looking forward to more Blockchain Bunker episodes. I will say, guys, if you have a comment, 2 things we need you to comment and in this video. 1, what kind of shoes Decker needs to get.
Oh my God.
And 2,
drop your links.
What are some ideas for topics and things you would like to see covered on Blockchain Bunker?
Yes.
Blockchain Bunker things to be prepared for in the future, whether it be financial or economic or just preparedness, depending on which way the world may go. So it could be deep dive, conspiracy,
How
looking
deep
a little
do
deeper.
you want to go?
I like going deep, man.
That's the question.
I mean, I'll go scary deep. It's just a matter of how
what do people want?
How badly do you want to be penetrated?
Yeah.
Let me know in the comments. I'll be paying
With
attention.
knowledge.
Air Max. See, they say you need some Air Max. I like Air. I'm wearing Air Max
Air
right now.
Max, guys, this is
Air
a
Max-
bear market. Okay,
Air Max are pretty.
we need old man slides.
Yeah, we'll take
All right,
him
you gotta
to the thrift store. Big
gotta
Hands
get
Dan
boots.
says, huge shout out to the Basement Minds, both hosts and crew. Thank you all for being here and bouncing ideas and thoughts around. Thanks, man. Thank you
Thanks.
for being here. We really appreciate it. That's what makes it fun. We're working on getting real time chat going through Discord
That
and latency.
Discord is lit.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Apparently,
be fun.
somebody photoshopped a picture of my face on a homeless man.
Oh yeah,
and put
we're
it
gonna have
into
to
the
heavily
video.
moderate that.
Yeah,
Please
guys,
no,
hold
please
on.
keep
I think
doing
I
that.
tweeted it out. We're getting ready to wrap up. We'll come back.
Nothing vulgar, but
this
please
is
keep.
funny, guys.
It's funny.
I'll retweet this too if you guys want. CZ responding to Gary Gensler said, "I wonder if he ever reads the comments under his tweets and his posts from the consumers he's supposed to protect." Yeah, like CZ's very in tune. He replies. He reads
got
stuff.
memes.
Like if you come under here and you read, the stuff that they, nobody,
You're correct.
nobody's really on Gary's side.
That's amazing.
That is hilarious.
God.
That's terrible, but hilarious.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's pretty much all we have time for today. I think I tweeted this. Here's the Discord link here on Twitter. If you guys find the Hit Network Twitter, go join, hang out with us. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff in there. We are going to, so I'm going to start dropping the links in there in advance. We're going to do different stuff for members. There's also free section. So shout out to all the OGs. We get Desert Crypto, Shane Hansen, Cali Crypto Doom, Mano Walk, SB, G Money 79, Corby Hosley, Joe Ryan, V's Fat Cat 13, Sir Quest, Bob from Accounting, Fluffy the Sheep, Radio Face, Crit Cats, Enzo Mining, Dago, Ransale Miguel, Crypto, Razmataz, Fluffy the Sheep. We love all of you guys. We will be back tomorrow with more crypto news, more information. Stay safe out there. Stack those sats. Buy the dip. Crimson Caravan Company, RS Crypto, Danny Carney. We love all you guys. Buy Decker some shoes. We're out of here.